Okay, so Rain World. This is basically a game where you are a small slug cat in a post-apocalyptic world where everything has evolved around the very hectic and dangerous environment around you. Slug cats are at the bottom of the food chain, and you will have to survive against things like giant colorful lizards and mosquitoes that will try to impale you if you touch one of their oh-so-perfect children. This game is very unforgiving, and I learned that very quickly and easily. I have seen a fairly small portion of this game and still have a ton of new things that we'll get to react to. At the point I'm recording this now, I've played about maybe 1.5 to 3 hours total, so I still have a lot to see. Also, quick disclaimer, for this first episode, my audio, besides the voiceover audio that you're listening to right now, wasn't recorded. This is fixed on episode 2, so you won't have to worry. I also have a special surprise planned for either that episode 2 I just said, or episode 3, depending on how late I finish editing these. So, anyway, no more long intros, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, I guess. So there's Survivor, Hunter, and Monk, which I did not know is Hunter, Hunter looks like I can't play it right now. I guess I'll just try out Survivor, because that looks like basis. But let's see. I am small.
Oh, dang it. 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 Oh, dang it.
Yeah, so remember how I said that for this video, my in-game audio wasn't recorded and it would be fixed on episode 2? Well, since that is the case, I will be improvising with my constant annoying voiceover voice. Yay! Anyway, I won't do this for the whole video, I promise. There will be some uninterrupted gameplay where you can just get to watch me get beaten all over. Anyway, though, I should probably restart the video because I think you want to see. I eventually wandered into the outskirts for the first time, which was basically just the not starting point where you actually have a lot of danger around you. The first thing I encountered immediately was one of those giant mosquitoes I talked about earlier. If you remember what I said, however, you'll see that I can get completely ignored by them and are safe. I also encountered the most basic and common type of lizard, the green lizard. Ooh. Basically, these guys are very aggressive and they will attack any creature that's the same size as them or smaller, including each other. And unfortunately, I am smaller. These guys have a type of lunge or dash they can do to catch up to you. It's not very effective normally, but you still need to watch out for it. I eventually end up on the ground and have to fight it. I have a spear though, so this can go one of 3 ways. A. I throw the spear at it and impale it through the head and instantly massacre it. B. I throw the spear but miss and have to run away or get eaten. Or C. I throw the spear at it and it hits, but it isn't enough to kill it or scare it away. Alright, now place your bets. What do you think will happen? That's right, it was actually D. The spear I hit hits the lizard, but it actually hits it in the head, causing it to bounce off like I just hit a brick. So if you couldn't tell already, these lizards have a very metallic and hard skull. The spears will only work if you hit their direct body, so they're kind of dangerous. Therefore, I have to grab another spear that was conveniently on the ground already in front of me and run for my life. I eventually escaped to a longer, grassier plains with another green lizard charging me right on, and you know what? I wasn't afraid this time. I charged headfirst at the lizard and immediately run away again, because you didn't learn anything. I better make it to another new place while just blazing through these. And, this happens. Yeah, so I very nearly died, but thanks to the prayers of the absolute slug cat gods, I make it out unharmed. The lizard eventually falls down with me narrowly dodging it, and then I sprint up one of the tunnels. For my first playthrough, I've been getting pretty lucky so far. I've been narrowly escaping many different types of creatures, only green lizards, but it seems my luck eventually came to an end. I had eventually started talking to someone, and stopped looking at the screen. Eventually, I started hearing rain because the sound was still on. I came back to this. This makes me enact a very important sprint scene, which will span over the course of about now. Anyway, this was my first death. It was pretty good if you ask me. I eventually skipped to another day as I come out of the hibernation chamber thing and immediately find a spear on the ground, which I don't think is rare, but I still like it because I am a child in this story and I like big sharp things. I eventually make it to a similar place as before where it's a long open rain worldified plains biome and find this guy. Okay, their sight is based on movement, so if I sit here right in front of him while he's very clearly faking going to sleep, I'll be okay. Anyway, I proceeded to run straight away and not listening to my own instructions. Dang, I can't even listen to myself. I get how I get separated from these other sled cats now. Wow, I suck. Another appears, I must say, much more vibrant than the other one, and larger. I wonder if this I eventually get them into fighting each other, and take that opportunity to run away. When for a second time this happened. And nearly gives me a free ticket way to yeah, so apparently this is one of the few things I heard about this game, which is that there's something like only 1 or 2 pink lizards left in the lore. I'm not too sure, because if it's in-game, then I think I might need to buy a lottery ticket and some Pokemon repels. Because oh my god, there were so many lizard attacks that I had to deal with. Like, I'm not complaining, free content, but also like, give me something else. Anyway, while the 2 green lizards were fighting, I make my escape. Eventually encounter the giant mosquito again. I didn't know why it didn't attack me. You will see why soon, though. I eventually encountered the probably same pink lizard until I went up to the outskirts of a spear and encountered a green lizard. And my brain was only thinking of one thing. I wonder what it tastes like. Like, it probably tastes like mold and poison, because I swear, literally every time I see this type of lizard, it's constantly vomiting every time I see it attack. I'm not saying that that's gonna make it taste worse. Anyway, I was about to spear the lizard, but I got scared and run away. Anyway, now here it is again. The giant mosquito. But this time's different. While the mosquito is traveling through the tunnels with its Elon Musk amount of children, I decide I wonder if I can grab one, commit kidnapping. So I immediately run up to one of the babies once the adult has left, and just snatch it. However, as soon as I do that, it starts beeping like a goddamn car alarm. And of course, the adult slash owner comes over like, hey, what are you doing? So I'm like, this is my spear? And they're like, oh, hell no. And then the adult becomes a spear, so I start freaking out and crawling through the tunnels because I'm like, since when are mosquitoes this dangerous? Why have they just been, oh wait, they've always been this dangerous. Now they're just bigger and not venomous. I don't know how I didn't get turned into one of those dragon heads that Burn used to keep in the Sandwing Castle. It's not part of the script. Anyway, the mosquito eventually gives up and leaves. This was actually perfect timing because it was about to be the end of the day, and rain was beginning to fall as soon as I went down. I went back to the same place as last time where all the bats hang out, and I was just trying to get some food, and then... Okay, so right here I figure out how to kill these giant mosquitoes. Once they've darted toward you, you have to pelt and stab them with different items. But then I made a huge mistake. Okay, yeah, I blatantly tried to escape this thing by climbing up in a straight line. This was the equivalent of running away from a monster in a horror game and only deciding to go forward and not try and turn away from it. Nevertheless, I restarted, went to go eat the bat skin, and found another mosquito. Again! But this time wasn't going to be the same. I was going to win this time. So I was expecting myself to die, but I actually did kill it, and then it just flopped around and stopped flying and attacking. That's still a win in my book. So what if that innocent creature that was just trying to protect his children is now crippled? I got style points! Anyway, I went back to the outskirts because I saw this huge burst of bats flying around and I wanted to see what was going on. I eventually went back to the flat plains, and I found another green lizard. Although it didn't last for long, and I eventually just left because I started getting chased by it. It chased me into a small room, where then I wanted to fight. I still didn't understand what to do about the strong head it had, like Hammerhead from OPM, and I was still gonna try and win against it. And then it just left! I chased after it, as a slug cat, chasing a predator. I went into this room with all these pipes, and then I found this small pink lizard. It kind of just danced around a bit. So I went after it. It led me to a big open room, but by then, I realized something. The rain was coming. I had to sprint away to find a place to hibernate quick. And it looks like I very narrowly escaped. But I get to live again. I did my casual routine when I woke up, grabbed spear, run up to the outskirts, throw it at a green lizard, have it fail, run away crying, till a second green lizard showed up. And I was suddenly like, I can't take that many guys at once. So I scrambled up a very short, mind you, pole so I could escape. The lizard lost interest pretty quickly. I eventually found myself once again in the plains, where I kinda just bounced over a green lizard because they're unable to climb up poles. Eventually I found this giant core-like room where I went through these tunnels that led me from a miniature tight room to a small but open area, where I met my first fake pole. These things will disguise themselves, but are actually giant plants that will try to kill you if you touch them at all. They can grab any creature, but they aren't strong enough to kill lizards. Except sometimes small pink lizards, maybe. You can tell it's a fake pole because it sometimes will slightly move, revealing that it has many barbs and hairs along it. Anyway, I eventually left and went back up. I was trying to figure out where these smaller tunnels went when this happened. I went back out to the more open area where that same green lizard was waiting. He very clearly just walked through the fake plant, which I feel like is a bit unfair, because if I walked through that, it would be walking into a Sarlacc pit for me. The guy just started flopping around on the ground like League players when they're told to have to take a shower that's not a shower of Monster Energy drinks. And that gives me a chance to, when they start to end their tantrum and fall asleep, immediately miss my pole jump and wake them back up. I throw a rock at the fake pole because I like seeing it also have a tantrum. I then Mario jumped over a second green lizard and went on my merry way toward a new area, which will basically become my new home base for a while, and be a recurring area in both this episode and episode 2. And possibly more, I haven't recorded that much. I see this pink lizard come out of the tunnel to the left, which scares me a little even though I still stand my ground. It falls down farther into the pit, in which I'd follow it because, as we all know, curiosity kills the slug cat. Or lizard in this case.
Michael! Don't leave me here! Michael!
After seeing that, I just decide, you know what? I'm just gonna sleep early and rot in bed. I sure hope I don't get visions of both my past and future while I try to take some me time and have a nice sleep. Next day, and oh my god, when the actual
Michael! Don't leave me here! Michael! Michael! Help me!
Yeah, so I just got traumatized. Little white slug cat boy right here won't be going anywhere near those plants, will he? Slug cat boy? No! Okay. Sorry, that might have been too many cut screen jokes, but they are funny, right? I go to another beautiful looking and shaped room, which has another new creature. It's like this very large water-like beetle thing. I believe I only see 2 of them this entire episode, but they are pretty unique. And conveniently, this was genuinely not planned. I am writing this script as I watch through these clips that I do not remember. That other water beetle is right here. I chase after it because what's the worst that could happen? Oh my god, what the hell? It's so fast fucking run. It's so fast fucking run. Holy shit, why is it so fast? My feet hurt. I decided to call it a day after that since nothing else seriously happened. I simply went back into my tiny hole and had a normal sleep. Okay, so fast forward a lot. I'm exploring this little cubby area by the end of the flat plains with this giant green lizard. All's going well until I hear rumbling. Almost like heavy pattering on the ground, exposed to the air on the other side of the cubby hole. Cold droplets coming forth. Then it hits me. Rain. It's beginning to rain, and I am extremely far away from any hiding place. So, I make a final stand. Honestly, that last death was so much fun.